How you doing? Real quick, I wanted to make a quick video. I got a comment, and I've had actually people talking to me about this exact topic. Okay, so and so got a shot, so why shouldn't Andre or whoever it might be against Alvarez? Right? You're picking them. You're picking your opponents. Yes, they are picking their opponents, but understand it's a fight-by-fight basis, okay? The matchmaker and the management is looking at each fight. You don't get to go backwards. You got to go for, okay, it's about right now. It's not about a future interpretation. It's not about the past. It's about right now. What is the best match that I can make for my fighter? Now, any fight that a matchmaker makes, let me back up, okay? Pro boxing is different, okay? Pro boxing is not designed to go out and take a tough fight and lose, oh well, okay? Because usually there are no rematches for the most part. Now, rematches happen, but if you lose a fight, you're probably not going to get that chance again in pro boxing. Whereas in the amateurs, you go to a tournament, you can take a loss to a guy, okay, man, I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to get you next time. You know what I mean? And that's just very common. You'll fight guys in the amateurs 5, 6 times, you know what I mean? And in the pros, that just doesn't happen. So there's no makeup bout. So what you're doing, what the management's doing and the fighter's doing, you're trying to build the following based on your performance, right? So the Fielding fight, also I'll address that one. The Fielding fight, where Canelo knocked out Fielding, who's not even on his level. He knocked him out 2 rounds. He's coming off of 2 grueling fights with Golovkin. He wanted a fight where he can look good, get a knockout, because he didn't get a knockout against Golovkin. He didn't even come close. So, you know, he wants to get back on the knockout page. He doesn't want to have that big worry of a possible loss going through camp. You know, it's a fight where his fans will come to see him. The result's going to be exciting because he's more likely going to knock this guy out, which he did. He's going to win fans as opposed to lose fans. So what can this do for you? It builds your credibility. He wasn't looking for a belt. He wasn't looking to prove himself. He had just proven himself twice against Golovkin, which I thought Golovkin won, but that's a whole different topic for a different video. But yeah, it was a look good fight. Same thing with Kirkland. Kirkland was a puncher who, he's a threat, but Kirkland's defense is terrible. Okay, let's be real here. He doesn't. His defense he doesn't have any defense. He's an all offense guy. So what that means, especially for a puncher like Canelo, is you're going to get a chance to hit this guy on his chin. Okay, and the management was pretty comfortable with it because Canelo's defense has come to a place to where he's not taking a lot of shots, man. He's really gotten good with his defense. He's going to be able to make a wild swinger like Kirkland miss, and he's going to be able to pick him off when he comes in. So his management knew that a knockout was probably going to happen, more than likely. Kirkland had a name behind him as a slugger, as just, you know, this come forward, fan-friendly, beastly fighter. So this is a good name to get a knockout off of to build your fan base and continue growing in your reputation. It wasn't a fight to make him better. It was a fight to make him look good. Okay, and every fighter has that. So going forward, not backwards, you don't live forward. And everybody wants to say fair. Like, oh, it's not fair that he gets a shot and so-and-so doesn't. It's not about fair. Nobody's looking for fair. You're not going to get fair. Boxing isn't fair. Boxing's, you know, get me what I can get now. You know what I mean? It's about what can I do now to put myself in a position for my future. All right? Any fight that a professional fighter takes, they're taking it for a reason. And if they're not, they got a good chance of losing and getting their career shut down. I had a friend who actually took a fight because on his previous fight, the promoter set him up for a title shot, which he won. So, in other words, he owed the promoter a favor to take a fight to the promoter's liking, which was for the promoter's prospect. And he ended up losing a decision on that fight to the prospect kid. I don't remember the kid's name, but understand, I say that to say that there's a purpose to every fight. In that particular instance, the purpose was that he felt he owed the promoter this fight because of the title that he won. So he went ahead and did it. I don't know. I don't think that was the best decision, but you know, you gotta live with the decision you make. You know, a lot of times these promoters, they get a kid. Okay, I got a kid. He's 18-0 or whatever. He's got a good record. He's fighting on an undercard. I need an opponent, right? You got to make this kid look good so that he builds a fan base. Because you have to build a fan base before you become a star. You have to have a following in order to get put on a higher stage. If you don't, they're not going to put you on a higher stage. So, if you're looking for an opponent, you know that you're looking for a guy that your fighter's going to knock out, right? So, you're calling around gyms, you're calling different promoters, you're talking to different coaches. It's, okay, you got a guy. Is this guy ready? You know? Well, yeah, but he wants more money. Sometimes a promoter will step up and say, okay, we'll give you $10,000 for this fight. He says, nah, man, that's not good. Okay, I'll give him $30,000. So he'll overpay the opponent just to make his guy look good. That happens all the time. Okay, if you're fighting on television, you got some leeway. You have some leverage to up your purse, to bring your purse up, because if they're calling you, they probably need you, or they need an opponent for this kid, and you're probably going to get knocked out because you're fighting somebody who is good and in shape and ready to go, and you're probably not, or whatever the circumstances may be. Now, upsets happen, but these managers are not in the business of getting their fighter upset. So it's, you know, it's usually a fight to set his guy up to look good. Now, for Demetrius Andrade, he's in a different situation. It's different than Kirkland. It's different than that other kid Fielding. Okay, it's different than every other fight. Andrade is a good southpaw. He's not easy to hit. He's not easy to beat. So there has to be something that you can offer Alvarez that he could gain out of the fight. What can he gain by fighting Andrade? He's got credentials. He's already beaten the top guys around. So there's more justification to avoid that fight. There almost is. There's almost more justification to not take that fight than there is to make another one. I mean, why don't you just make another fight? Because there's names out there that are bigger than Andrade right now. It's not fair. I'm not talking about fair. Nothing's fair. There's no such thing as fair in boxing or in life. So when we evaluate these things, we got to get fair out of our head. Fair is not going to happen. All right? It's not about fair. It's about how can I make the best fight for my guy right now, regardless of what they're going to think in the future, regardless of what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter. I need the best fight for my guy right now. And right now, in this moment, to unify 168 without a lot of trouble, Kayla Plant is the guy. Fight Kayla Plant. You're probably going to win. A very low risk of losing that fight. If it goes to the cards, you're probably going to get a win, even if it's close, which it probably won't be close because Plant just doesn't have enough experience or exposure to really throw a lot of curveballs at Alvarez. You know what I mean? Alvarez has seen a lot of different styles, and he's dealt with them well. So it's an uphill battle for Kayla Plant. Very, very, I'm not going to say green, but he is green at the championship level. He's green at that level. He's not green in boxing, but he is green at the top level. So within a few rounds, Alvarez is going to see some habits and some tendencies, and he's going to be able to capitalize on them. You know what I mean? Which Plant will not be able to do with Alvarez. So that's kind of the why, but behind the what in most situations, almost every situation in these top prospects. You're going to make the bout that is most lucrative. And if it's not lucrative financially, there's a purpose for the fight. Whether it's looking good, whether it's trying to win a belt, whether it's trying to make money, whatever the case may be. With guys like Alvarez at the top of the game, their management is good at what they do. You got to have a purpose. So my point would be for Andrade to get that fight, you have to make it lucrative for Alvarez. Okay, that means beating somebody. That means getting him mad, and you have to build a case so the fans demand it at this point. He's not going to fight you just because you're a good contender. You know what I mean? There's 100 guys just like you that are all trying to get that Alvarez fight. Everybody wants to fight Alvarez, okay? Join the club. There's nothing special about you until you put some names under your belt and make a case for why you need that fight. You got to have the public demand it, okay? You can't demand it. You got to make the public stand up for you. And it can happen. Andre can do it. He can fight. The guy can fight. I know who he is. I saw him in the amateur. That guy can fight. He is the real deal. But he's got to get a few names under his belt. That's all I'm saying. It's not fair, but nothing's fair. It's not about fair. It's about making something lucrative in the near future. They're not even concerned about the distant future. They're concerned about right now. He doesn't care about his legacy 20 years from now. He's concerned about what he can do right now to make the best name and best opportunity for himself. So that's my answer to that. We can ask why all we want, but understand that there is a purpose in every decision that's made for a fight of that caliber. All right? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all tune in again. God bless. I'll see you soon.